I think last striker who really is the only sure thing I would say, right? Which is Isak. I mean, no one's ever a sure thing, and obviously his injuries would play a part. Although I've heard that through listening to the podcast, it's a little bit blown out of proportion how bad he was this past season. He actually didn't miss too many games, but there is that kind of groin niggling injury that he does get there, and if you're paying, which is sounding like that the media and everyone on Twitter and stuff is talking about, is sounding close to 150. So you're looking at, I mean, easily 100 mil plus for this guy. So again, that's the only kind of red flag over it. Like how is his injury record? How fit is he going to be? And I've heard a lot of things said about Newcastle about how this could almost be could this be their Coutinho moment in terms of getting a lot of money in for a player that, yes, is very, very good in his high level, as was Coutinho at the time. He was by far our most exciting and best player at the time. But can you then take that money and actually reinvest it cleverly across the squad that's maybe going to benefit you in all areas? But it's hard to get nines, as we've just said. Goals are so hard to come by at the moment. So I don't know. I don't know. Newcastle are just they seem a bit stuck. They seem stuck within the PSR constrictions, and without the consistency of Champions League football, and it's getting harder, as discussed in the full end of season podcast with Matthew and Greg. Like, I don't know, they're just in a very, very weird place in this kind of new era of football. Well, we'll see new era. It depends on how the City trial goes, but potentially this new era of football, they just seem a bit stuck in between stools. But let's just have a look at Isak, right? Let's maybe we can go back to, let's maybe not go back as far as 2020, 2021. Let's go 21, 22. He plays 32 games that season in the Liga, 6 goals, 2 assists, total of 41 games, 10 goals and 3 assists. So, so there. But again, he's young, he's learning. He then comes to Newcastle. He plays 22 games, he gets 10 goals and 2 assists that season. In total, he plays 29 games, gets 11 goals and 3 assists. So he's in the double figures there. They did pay a big fee for him, though. It's about 70 million from Sociedad. So, people kind of knew he was going to explode a little bit there. Sociedad knew what Newcastle were getting. This year's where he steps up, 23-24. He plays 30 games, 21 goals and 2 assists. In total, he plays 40 games, gets 25 goals and 2 assists. So very high numbers. They play 5 Champions League games that season. He gets 1 goal in the Champions League. So that's where he kind of really explodes with those 21 goals in the league. He's backed that up again this season. They played 34 games this season, 23 goals in the league and 6 assists. In total, he plays 42 games. He gets 27 goals and 6 assists. They're not in Europe, obviously, so there's no goals there. So you can see Isak there 2 seasons in a row has consistently hit 21 and 23 goals. And I think everyone that watches him and watches Newcastle and watches the Premier League and watches those games would say, yeah, like, I know what Isak's going to bring. And he does feel, if you're going to sign him in that league, like pretty much a sure thing, bar that little red flag of injuries. But it's going to cost you a hell of a lot of money. I mean, as I said, Liverpool are looking for one, but we've dropped 116 on Vert, so we're going to go mental and get Isak as well, which I'm about to move into. But I think Liverpool are seeing a little bit of a moment here where there might be a bit of a gap, where City are rejuvenating, but it's at the very beginning. Could you kind of stay ahead of them for at least a year and then go toe to toe with them, maybe when Pep's really got it clicking in year 2 and 3? Do you maybe just spend the money on Isak now and you don't do any business maybe next summer, or certainly small business, and you keep yourself ahead? Is it worth it? And obviously, can they spend it? I don't know the details on there, but yeah, I mean, Arsenal aren't going to do that, I don't think. I mean, it seems obvious if you're Arsenal, that's who you try and go for, but don't think they're looking to spend 150 million on him. Again, is it worth it? Is that all you need? All your eggs in that basket? I don't know. Goals are hard to come by, and I think Isak would certainly, you would feel if Arsenal got him, you'd think, okay, Arteta, if you maybe open things up a little bit more than you did last season, there's a chance here of you guys maybe really getting over the line in the big competitions with a guy like that up top. So they're definitely hard to come by. Isak, for me, feels like the only sure thing. Is someone going to go and pay the money for him? I don't know. Does he do another year at Newcastle anyway, since they're still in the Champions League? He's only going to be 26 again. Oh, he's going to turn 26 in September. So, he's going to be 26, turning 27 as you look to get him. Kind of talked about it. That's kind of like the kind of start of those kind of three peak years, so to speak, that everyone says. I don't know. I think it depends on your situation. Liverpool, if we've got the money and we're willing to do